There are hundreds of species of spiders that call Australia home. Some small, some big, some deadly, and some hidden. But one master of disguise tends to order a side of contortion with its camouflauge entree. Taking the term tree hugger a little bit too literally, the wraparound spider keeps out of sight from both predator and prey by getting close and personal with the local flora. But hiding in plain sight is how this spider survives here in life, death, and taxonomy.
Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
Thank you to Cassie for the creation of our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube or Spotify.
And thank you to Johanna for the creation of this week's artwork. To check that out, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter at LD Taxonomy, or visit us at our home on the web at ldtaxonomy.com. And a very special thank you to our patrons, to Tristan Taylor, Jesse Raspulich, Kara Raspulich, and Richard Kaspar. Thank you so much for your support. It is very greatly appreciated. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on.
And today we're talking about a flat character in the animal kingdom, but more on that later.
Yep. Every single time that this animal appears in a movie, they end up exactly the way that they started.
They never learn anything.
Actually, this we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Not exactly flat, but what are we talking about?
We're talking about the wraparound spider.
Yeah, right off the bat.
It's a big spider.
If it was flat, could it wrap around? I mean, I guess flat and malleable. But
yeah, like a piece of paper.
We'll talk about it. So, anyway,
okay.
This is also known as the leopard spider. I didn't make that up. It's based on its appearance. We'll talk about its appearance. But we're gonna call it here Rom the cuddliest spider. Fresh Prince, Prints, because it's got leopard prints. And Flat Stanley. That's what I'm gonna call it. Flat Stanley.
I was trying to think of that word, Flat Stanley, but
I was just
Mr.
talking about
Game
it with
Watch.
someone, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Flat Stanley! I forgot about that." I was explaining it to somebody from another country, and I was like, "I sound insane right now." But anyway, why don't you taxonomize this boy for us? This wraparound boy, Rappy boy.
Okay.
Also, Fresh Prince works because he's a rapper, and he's a wraparound spider.
That's pretty good.
And he wraps around something like a candy wrap. It's just, there's so much to unpack from this. I'm sorry, I'm patting myself on that. Because it's a wrap, like a candy wrapper. Wraps around a piece of candy.
Yeah, what's that have to do with the Fresh Prince?
Because he's a rapper. He raps about his life.
But a candy wrapper wraps around a piece of candy.
Yeah.
Just like this wraparound spider wraps around stuff. That's just the same word.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Using a different piece
never
of
mind.
candy. Like
yeah,
I
made a connection that wasn't quite there yet. I should have called this Snickers boy or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah,
like,
no. We're missing one element of one level to that elevator there.
I thought like the Fresh Prince that was famous for candy or something.
I'm sure he likes it.
He might. They're in the kingdom, love, and are in the kingdom Animalia. Mm-hmm. They're in the phylum Arthropoda, not Anthropoda. Mm-hmm. They're in the subphylum Cheloceratidae. That's the cellar door of subphylums.
Chelocerata.
Actually, the T probably disqualifies it from being cellar door, but it's still nice.
But like the T,
you need a little bit of spice.
The T is like it's like a flap. It's like a D. Like it's not Chelocerata. It's Chelocerata. So it's like.
Well, that's how we say it in American.
So
but you might say Chelocerata if you were trying to be precise. But I like Chelocerata. Chelocerata, the CH too. This is class. The class is Arachnida.
I knew it. It's a spider.
Guess what that is? It's spiders. Yeah, joint-legged invertebrate animals.
Same.
Like scorpions, spiders, ticks, and mites. The order is Araneae. I remember from
Araneae?
From Spider-Man 1. Araneae.
I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's air-breathing arthropods with 8 legs and fangs and venom. And it's in the infraorder Araneomorphae. I guess what that is spiders.
Yeah.
It's in the family Arendelle, where
Elsa and
Frozen was.
What's her name live?
Araneidae.
There's a lot of vowels in this boy.
Yeah.
Araneae.
Araneae Day.
This is tough cookies. That's as close as I can.
Araneae. Araneae.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. And I think that's orb weavers. Yeah, orb weavers. Weavers of orbs we'll talk about. It's in the genus Dolophones.
Dolophones? That sounds
Dolophones.
That sounds like a Greek hero if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. And the binomial name is Dilophones conifera.
Dolophones sounds like a Greek hero of pain. Because like dolor.
Sounds like a Greek hero of dolphins.
They already have a dolphin Greek hero. His name is Poseidon. Doesn't he ride around with dolphins? Yeah, he does. Or Trident or whatever from Little Mermaid.
No.
Dolphins.
Seahorses.
No, that's
Isn't it
Sebastian.
seahorses?
Sebastian rides around in seahorses. Seahorses are way too small to pull the king of the ocean. Dolphins are or nothing.
What does Poseidon ride?
A chariot pulled by like hippogriffs or whatever.
Depicted riding a 4-horse chariot and wielding a trident. He rides. Oh, the hippogriffs, right?
It's like a horse slash
horses of the
dolphin.
ocean.
Yeah.
We forgot about dolphins, so we had to make up ocean horses.
Ocean horse, the sea, but not seahorse. Ocean. Don't get confused with the seahorse. This guy's an ocean horse. He only lives in oceans, not seas.
Okay. Yeah, that's the name of it. Do you have some sort of game we could play about it?
Yes, since we're in the business of naming things, it's time for my favorite part of the show. Critter groups, the part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that question is the same every time. What is the name of a group of this animal, or what is the term of entry, or what is the collective noun? We talking spiders today. Spiders. If you saw a group of spiders before setting the house on fire, would you say you saw an A, venom of spiders, B, skitter of spiders, C, calibration of spiders, or D, nest of spiders?
I'm going to go with a nest, final answer.
That is technically incorrect. That is not one of the official collective nouns. People call them nests,
Walnuts.
but it's not. It's not a nest. It is a venom of spiders.
That's stupid. I hate that one.
But venom is so cool, like a turd.
But it's not.
In the wind.
It doesn't invoke a collection at all. It's just a part. Like, you can't just say something that this animal has as their collective noun.
It's like this is a tooth.
Who
of
does
humans.
this?
This is a tooth of humans.
Who does this? Yeah.
This is a
You know how they
cats.
famously have teeth, right? It's an incisor of humans.
That sounds actually pretty good. I'd like to be part of an incisor of humans.
It's a milk of humans.
No,
we're mammals.
I like that a lot less.
Well, it's a saliva of humans.
Better, a little better. Anyway. Yeah, venom of spiders. Enjoy.
Okay. Would you like me to tell you what it looks like?
Yeah, I would.
Well, it's black, brown, and gray. and sometimes has little spots of red. So I'm guessing because it's kind of a bespeckled pattern, that's what it means by leopard print. I did not look at this and think about leopard print, but I guess it is bespeckled.
It has spots on it. They're just not like black spots like a leopard has. I would not look at this and say leopard either, but I wasn't there.
But it's bespeckled. We'll say that. Bespeckled, bewitched, and bewildered. It has a large, broad abdomen. It kind of reminds me of a crabdomen, you know? Yeah. Not as thickly as a crab, but broad. And also, it has long, hairy legs, similar to a tarantula. Tarantula,
yeah.
Quentin Tarantula.
This is an odd-looking spider, for sure.
It is. It's hard to look at.
Like, for camouflage reasons, or for disturbing reasons, or for
because of the shape and other things we'll talk about later, like all the pictures of it. It's like, what am I looking at? How do I observe this?
Where is it? Where does it start and where does it end?
Yeah,
that's pattern disruption, my friend.
That's a beautiful poem.
Where does it start? Where does it end? That's pattern disruption, my friend.
That's great.
But
we need that on a T-shirt.
I know. Yeah, I need to change my intro. I read a lot of like children's poems, and that would work really well.
It would. Let's write a little kid's book about it.
Billions.
Let's talk about its size, dimensions, and relatable terms. Welcome to the Beloved Measure Up segment, the official listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show that's presented by you when you send in audio of yourself saying, singing, or chittering the words measure up into ldtaxonomy at gmail.com. It's also the part of the show when we present the animal sizes, dimensions, and relatable terms through a quiz that's fun for the whole family. I messed it up. I inverted it, but we got there. Guess what we did? We have a new measure up intro.
Yes, Nora putting the team on her back.
Nora the Explorer.
I'm sure she's never heard that before.
And speaking of the Explorer, she sent in the email. She told us all about her. I'm going to say hometown, but she specifically says that it's not a town; it's a small city, a city of vaguely respectable size. She said,
"Vaguely respectable, huh? Respectable. Respectable.
Yeah." Respectable. But the reason she was telling us is that, like, I guess for a long, because we were talking about the genetic risks of the Roosevelts being fifth cousins, and since she by her own admission it has nothing to do with animals, I'll briefly summarize. She lived in a relatively small city. It's not a little country town, but it's a small city.
But it's definitely of a vaguely respectable size.
Yes, up in the mountains in Canada. So because it was like, it's a mix of like small towns, there's a lot of isolation, and it often happens where relatives or people get into relationships and find they are like some level of cousins. But it turns out they have like genetic issues in this town. They have like a higher rate of breast cancer in men, like genetic hip problems, stuff like that. So her point was that fifth cousins are probably not, like, genetically not that bad one time, but even being fifth cousins over a long period of time. Like if your genetic pool is low, and here's where it can like come back to animals, because you need a gene pool. What do we call that when we're talking about like Sasquatch? They need a breeding population. Yeah. So to have a healthy breeding population, you have to have enough people.
Yeah. You can't just have okay, these are the last two pandas on Earth. Like that's the end of the pandas. Like there's not going to be a healthy population of pandas after that.
Yeah, at least it's the end of pandas as we know it, without science stepping in and like really, intervening. You're not going to have pandas anymore.
Or they're going to have genetic abnormalities or issues
that maybe you can correct over time, but yeah, it's going to be an issue. But yeah, she also sent us pictures of her animals. She has a 3-legged dog, which is precious, hairless cat, and baby rats. Is this 3-legged dog a husky? I'm seeing a picture of a dog that looks like a husky.
Nora just took the status quo and ripped it to shreds. Like, what do you have, a dog? I got a 3-legged dog. What do you have, a cat? Does it have fur? Mine doesn't. This is the island of misfit toys.
Yeah, and baby rats. I love this. Hairless cat with a sweater on.
We have
the technology, hairless cat. Don't worry. We'll take away your hair and give it back to you.
We shaved you and made a sweater. It's like putting a wool coat on a sheep you just sheared.
Well, I don't think it's shaved. It's not a shaved cat.
I know, but it would have been funny. There's some
but we still took it away. We took it away with
breeding. We bred the hair away from you. Interesting. Well, I'm glad she had insight into that. I don't have a concept of what a fifth cousin even is, and I'm not about to look at a family tree long enough, or with my critical thinking cap on, to figure it out. I got second cousins and maybe thirds. Understood, but after that is like, what?
I think it's just, I don't know. It's like you have I think 5 generations ago you share a grandparent.
Is that how that works?
Pretty sure. Seems too easy of an explanation, and so I'm doubting myself.
That's a lot of people. That's hundreds and hundreds of people that can fall into that. Into a 5 grandparents.
Right. It doesn't sound right to me.
Like, and especially in a small town, like there's a possibility that every single person.
It's not a small town. She said specifically.
I'm sorry. It was a vaguely respectably sized city, Alpine city. There's a high chance that like most of the population comes from the same person 5 generations ago, or like is related to like the same person 5 or like what, like you could have a couple and then in 5 generations have enough people in that family to have a vaguely respectable sized city. I'm just thinking of like biblical genealogies, and like after 4 generations, like you have a small nation state. So it's just it's
yeah. You and your 5th cousin share a great grandparent. So there.
And I probably met them and never even knew. That's probably not true. Do you have any? Are there? Oh wait, we're doing measure up. We have a measure.
Yeah,
we're still introing this.
Yeah. So without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
Measure up.
You can't give us a long, detailed story about genetic abnormalities and then laugh like that.
I think she sounds like Werner Herzog in the beginning, and that's just really doing it for me.
Really?
Yeah, wait, listen to it again.
I would like to see the measure up.
Measure up.
Yeah, it does kind of have a Werner Herzog. And then straight into Count Dracula or Count.
Count
What's his
Chocula.
name? No, who's the? He's
Count.
just the Count. He's just the Count. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
All
good.
right.
Thank you, Nora, for the anecdotes, the information, and the measure up,
And the pictures that only I saw so far.
and the pictures of the three-legged dog, rats, and hairless cat.
I mean, from the picture, I'm only seeing face of dog. Yeah, so it could be a 6-legged dog for all I know.
You only see face of dog.
But I'll take her word for it. Thank you, Nora, and thank you for putting the team on your back once again. It's been a while. But now in the new year, we get a new measure up. Our first episode of the new year.
Nice.
We get a measure up. That's great. Let's talk about female length. They're 90 millimeters, like a bullet. Or
like one kind of bullet.
Or my favorite kind of bullet, the 0.35 inch bullet.
It's a 35.
So, how many wraparound spiders go into the length of Australia's largest predator? Bonus points if you know who that is.
Largest predator.
5% discount if you know what that is. In 8 seconds.
Dingo.
That's it. That's the one.
Ah.
Nice guess. Here's a hint. The dingo.
I only had 8 seconds, so I was scared.
The dingo is the largest predator in Australia. Dingoes are more flexible than dogs and have a wider range of motion in their hips and wrists. Take that, hip dysplasia. That helps them moving around in burrows. Burrowing dogs.
Burrowing dogs.
Yeah.
So how many of these rappers go into
Parappa the Rappa.
a dingo? I mean, a dingo's like a small dog. It's not like a full-on lab. More like an Australian shepherd. Which fits because it's Australian. Australian. I'm going to say the length, you said?
The length.
Like nose to rump?
Nose to rump.
Nose to tail?
Nosferatu.
Rump or tail?
I don't know. It's usually the length
makes a
of
difference.
the nose to rump, probably.
I'm going to say 3 feet, 36 inches. $102 is my answer.
102 spiders?
Yeah.
The correct answer
103. We're rounding up.
correct answer is 171.
That is not a nursing school victory. Dingoes are big.
Dingoes are 5 feet
I
long.
said 3 feet. Maybe that's the tail, though. 2-foot tail? That's not.
It's also the upper end of average. So you might be in the closer to the mid to lower end of average. And there might be respectable dingoes of your estimation.
If I had included the tail, I probably would have gotten very close to the answer.
You might have. Let's talk male length. They're between 5 and 6 millimeters, or 0.19 to 0.23 inches, because inches are too big. Here's a crazy fact, and it's going to be a Jeopardy-style question. Kiribati is a city in a place. City in a country. An island nation, rather, actually. This place is one of the first countries to experience the new year, and it is 389 250,783 spiders from this island, which is among the last places to experience the new year. So you're looking for this island that is 300 million spiders away from Kiribati. And here's a hint. Even though this Pacific Island territory is southwest of Kiribati, it is on the opposite eastern side of the international dateline, and it experiences the new year almost a full 24 hours after Kiribati. This is because the international dateline isn't a straight line, and instead sneaks around the east side of Kiribati and then back to the west side of this island.
So we're going from, I'm guessing, the second island? Or the first one?
What are you talking about?
Which I'm guessing an island name, right?
Yes.
So there's one island that experiences the new year first.
That's Kiribati.
And it is 300 Kiribati, and it is 300 million
spiders
wraparound spiders
away
from the island I'm trying to guess,
yes,
which experiences the new year last.
There were some hints in the hint.
I was doing math during the hint.
Why?
Because I was trying to
You're trying to triangulate?
How much distance 300 million spiders was.
It looks to be about, just looking at the map, like maybe Florida to Maine. The Pacific is so big. So like these islands that are like, hey, there's nothing in between these. And this is the next closest thing. Oh, it's like thousands or at least hundreds of miles away. Many hundreds. Thousands of kilometers.
Yeah, I don't know how Moana did it. I'm going to say I don't know very many island names specifically. Pacifically, middle of the Pacific Ocean islands, except for the Galapagos.
You know this island.
East. I'm going to say Easter Island. Final answer.
That's a final answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Kiribati is 1,413 miles or 2,274 kilometers away from American Samoa. I said in the hint, even though this Pacific Island territory is southwest of Kiribati.
I don't know that I still would have gotten it. I just downloaded a geography app to my phone, and I'm rusty.
Isn't it the thing that blew my mind about this was the fact that this American Samoa is west of Kiribati, and so the sun rises on the day in Kiribati before touching American Samoa. But they're on different.
Yeah.
Actually, that makes sense the way I just said it. But anyway, the Kiribati is west of the international dateline, and American Samoa is east of the international dateline. Because the international dateline deviates in order to include all of the 33 islands that make up Kiribati.
It just occurred to me that you can cut all this out. The first episode of Futurama has everyone in the world counting down the new year at the same time. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Australia. It also is one of the biggest, one of the first, rather, that experienced the new year. And guess what? Let's talk about some fast facts. The first of which is this spider is native to Western Australia. And there are 17 other members in the genus that all live around Oceania. And they prefer forests and spend time in their webs on trees. And wraparound spiders are more active at night. They're nocturnal, like many spiders are. They build their webs to catch prey primarily, but they tear them down during the day. And I'm not sure if that's just to like cover your tracks or if it's to recycle. Because I know, don't some spiders like eat their webbing to like recycle it and make more? You eat the like
That sounds like something
the
I've heard.
nutrients. As with many orb weavers, they have venom that isn't particularly dangerous to humans, but their bite can be painful. As orb weavers, their webs are circular in shape. That's what orb means in, I guess, the English word orb in its origins can mean circular. When I think of an orb, I think of like a sphere, but I guess it's circular in this case. So these webs are circular in shape and pattern. They are primarily used to catch prey, not necessarily be a house, a place to live for the spider. Because we'll talk about how they do not lay their head on it. They don't kneel beside it to say their evening prayers. They don't do butterfly kisses there. Orb webs are constructed with a non-sticky framework, and spirals with sticky liquid droplets are added to the framework. I didn't know that. I thought that spider silk was just sticky. But I guess like...
I think the Magic School Bus taught me that.
I guess I would imagine, without knowing exactly why, I would imagine it's because you don't want your foundation to be sticky enough to get caught on every thing passing by that could like snag on it. If like the structured supports just get brushed in passing by a large thing, that's probably better.
Or maybe the sticky stuff is not quite as strong as the foundational stuff. And there's something about the chemical makeup that makes it like that. I don't know.
It is very stretchy.
But they don't get stuck to their own web.
Right.
So maybe they're just traveling along the non-sticky part.
Well, no, because they have to get to the things that get stuck in the sticky part.
They have like a route, though, I think.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That would be interesting to find out.
I have not done. I did not look into. I get that. That's more like a general web weaving spiders that I would need to do more research on to talk about.
Yeah. That's all I got. Do you have any big facts? Thick facts, even? Viscous facts.
Big ones.
Sticky facts?
Comes around, wraps around. That's the name of this one. While many insects are known for their camouflage, spiders don't usually hold any Academy Awards for best disguise. That's at least in comparison to like the leaf bug, the stick bug, the thorn bug, the ones you take like one of those YouTube master classes from. Some spiders do make themselves look like flowers, and we have covered a spider that does that. And there are some great entries into the camouflage category for spiders, but most spiders that rely on camo tend to have, like, they go to phase 1 or phase 2. Stage 1 or stage 2, I guess, of camo, which is just have a certain coloration and hang out in the place that looks like you. Instead of, some of the more advanced camouflage tactics of other animals and insects where their behavior or body shape changes in order to be more camouflaged. There's also like the trapdoor spider, which looks like an Oreo, to catch, I don't know, like a stray dog or sweaty 13-year-old. And really anyone who would just be willing to eat what they think is an Oreo off like an Australian forest floor.
It does look like an Oreo.
But it's remarkable. It's so remarkable that you have to believe that like Nabisco did it on purpose.
It's like, who dropped a Hydrox?
They're like, that's what the British call it, right?
No, it's another brand. It's actually the original brand, chocolate cookie sandwich cookie brand.
It's so ornate,
Huh?
and it doesn't have to be. So it's odd. And they must have just looked at this like tasty looking spider and been like, that's going to be the cookie that we hang our hat on. But the wraparound spider takes things to a new level when it comes to camouflage. They are very good at not being detected. So we got some stages to camouflage, and good camouflage always starts with your choice of location, your stage. Where are you going to hide? That makes a big difference. If you are an Arctic hare, you don't want to hide on the rocks. You want to hide in the snow. So the wraparound spider, when they hide, they tend to choose small tree branches. So that's their step one. They've chosen their good location, and then the second step is coloration. Location, coloration. It's so they're, like you said, they're brown and black and little flecks of red. It's all mottled, just like their chosen location. A typical tree branch is brown and mottled and with black spots and some red spots and all kinds of stuff going on. If it was like a single colored spider with no pattern, then it would stand out on the tree branch. But instead it looks all weather worn and weather beaten. So it's got the coloration down. And then the third is the texture. Step 3 is texture. So, and this is where most spiders fall off. They've gotten the coloration and they've gotten their location, and then they rest on their laurels and eat their food. But the wraparound spider's like, nope, I am going to method act my way out of this. I am the Daniel Day-Lewis of spiders. I'm going to release a movie called My Left 4 Feet. So with their texture, they are covered in like it's not fur. It's like a chitinous strands that make it look like very furry. Just not smooth. And its abdomen, its carapace, the part that it's crabdomen, looks like a big blue crab. Except it's not blue. It's covered with these craters, these big oval patches that kind of look like the Eye of Sauron. They're yellowish with this big black middle. They look like, or I guess what papaya pits, like if you cut a papaya in half, like a cross section of that. And they look like little eyes. There's it just gives its carapace this like really weathered and uneven and mottled texture, along with its coloration that just really goes with your typical tree branch. It's just not smooth. It's not symmetrical. It's not there really isn't a pattern, and so there really isn't a pattern with the wraparound spider's coloration either. And a lot of what comes into coloration for camouflage is pattern disruption. I think we talk about this a lot when it comes to zebras. Like, zebras don't blend in with their environment, they blend in with other zebras. They make it really difficult for predators to be able to isolate one zebra from the rest, because it's tough to see the outline of a zebra due to those stripings. And so when you actually look at a wraparound spider, like, yes, you as a human can be like, okay, there's the spider. But as we mentioned earlier, it's kind of tough to tell where the spider ends or begins and where the tree branch is. So it's kind of tough to tell, like, what, the spider is there, but what are you looking at? So when you're looking at a high definition picture of this on a tree branch and you're still kind of having a difficulty as a human, that's some good camouflage right there, because it's going to fool, a bird or a lizard or something like that. But most animals don't get to step 4. Most animals in general don't get to step 4, and that is body shape. So the wraparound spider, we already said, has a very wide and flat body, but it also has a concave underside. So it can actually flatten its body and wrap it around. Like, it is a wraparound spider. But it smooths it perfectly matches the contour of the tree branch that it's on. So where you could have all of this other stuff, but you're still gonna look like this lump of similarly colored and textured stuff on an otherwise not so lumpy tree branch. But now, it's not now, but with this feature, the wraparound spider is able to like flatten itself and just cover like a Snickers wrapper, cover the tree branch. So there's another one, but if you're not driving, look this up. It looks like it's just mashed itself into the tree branch. So with all of these 4 steps working in concert, you're basically you can hide in plain sight, and you can sleep this way. So you can hunt at night using his web, and then retract the web so to not draw attention to where he is. I'm not sure if that's exactly like why they retract the web, but it seems like a good reason. And then hide on the tree branch, and unless something runs into you, you're not going to be detected. But it does have a bite, so if you're out there exploring the Australian bushlands, take a very close look at every branch that you grab, because it might have a venomous spider on it, and it's not going to kill you unless you're allergic.
But it won't make you stronger.
But it's going to hurt. That's true. It won't. And it won't give you wraparound spider powers. Imagine if he got that power. If Peter Parker got this guy's power. It'd just be camouflage, really.
Mm-hmm. Like Miles Morales.
Oh, I forgot he could do that. He can turn invisible.
He turns invisible.
He must... But he just, like, wraps to things. he just flattens himself. Like, he's like Mrs. Incredible. He just flattens himself into a wall, but also turns invisible. And we're like, not only is he invisible, but also I can't touch him because he's as flat as the wall. But that's all I got. Also, it takes its legs and it folds them very close to its body when it's hiding like this, so it's not a bunch of splayed legs out. So it really plays the part. And then it goes to sleep.
It plays the bark part?
Yeah, this one, its bark is just as bad as its bite. Because it is bark. And it bites. But that's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right, that was the wraparound spider for you out there in podcasting. Stay still. Follow all 4 steps to a better and more hidden you. And give a tree a big spider cuddle hug like the wraparound spider here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, I just want to remind you that we now have a Patreon. Patrons can see full video episodes and get shoutouts on the show. But ultimately, it's a way for you to help us cover some costs and get even better. Still, reviews are the best way to help us grow. So if you haven't left one yet, we'd really love to hear from you. As always, thanks for listening and engaging.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
I mean, definitely don't do that in Western Australian forest because you might touch a spider.
Yeah, you might actually end up spider, but check the tree and then give it a hug,
Check the tree.
and then write a movie about it. Call it Avatar 2.
Yeah.